1972, and Hurricane Agnes just reached ground in Florida and travels up the entire east coast of the United States, dropping close to 14 inches of rain on Maryland and Pennsylvania. The flooding was everywhere. The roads were flooded. The towns were washed away. Cars, bridges were washed away. The first responders were so busy keeping up with things. The Army National Guard was called in, and so was the Army Corps of Engineers. And then there was a report that a plane had taken off at the beginning of the hurricane as it came into Maryland and had never landed at its destination. So a team of highly trained search and rescue experts were called on to find this plane. I was 14 years old. My brother Charles was 15. My best friend Debbie and her brother Bobby were the same ages as we were. The Bean brothers were 15 and 17-year-old. Russo, he was 16, and we were piling into the back of the truck, the cargo transport, with all of our gear. The commander came up and closed the back of the truck. We were members of the Civil Air Patrol, a civilian branch of the Air Force, and we were trained in search and rescue. I don't know why our parents let us go, but we climbed into the back of that truck, and the chaplain began his prayer. Dear God, take care, and oh God, these children, and oh God. But we used to count how many oh gods he would say in his prayers. The highest we ever got was 21, but we were kind of sacrilegious at that point. We weren't listening to the prayer, we were just counting. Well, they started up the truck and we're heading up to Western Maryland, kind of a circuitous route because of all the roads that were closed because of the flooding. We ended up in Thurmont, Maryland about 11 o'clock that morning and began taking this access road up through the back of the mountain until we finally reached a point where the trees were down in the middle of the road and we could go no further. So we climbed out of the truck, excited. We were going to go on this mission and we were going to find this airplane, and we were so excited, putting on our backpacks and all of our gear. And the leaders that had drove us up, they weren't in the field with us. They were 70 and 80 years old. They were just there to drive us there and get us back. So Ralphie decides he's going to put us in 4 teams of 2. We get our bearings, we figure out this is where we need to go, and we take turns taking lead as we're going up the side of the mountain. We tied off a couple of times because we had to cross through streams that were swollen and cross across mudslides. And we finally get up to where the site was where we thought the plane would be about 7 o'clock at night and in the gloaming. And we realized that there's the plane, but it wasn't a new crash. That crash had been there for years because we could see the weeds growing up around the fuselage, and we could see a sapling coming up through the cockpit. Well, I was given the wonderful job of climbing up on the cockpit with my flashlight to see if there was anybody in the plane. Fortunately, there were no body parts or skeleton or anything. So we're just hoping that meant that the person got out of the plane alive at some point in time in the past. Well, we called down the mountain and, and let them know that what we found, and we're told that it's too late for us to try to come down the mountain, that we're going to camp there for the evening. And the next morning that they want us to search the debris field and see if we can figure out what happened and which direction the plane came in. So bright and early in the morning, we get up and you could see where the plane had come through it and cut off the tops of some of the trees. And we found more pieces of fuselage. We got a couple of call numbers. We never did see the wings or the tail, but they told us the storm was coming back around and we needed to get down off that mountain. So we packed our gear up and we start back down the mountain. And when we get there, we're all excited and we're all, we did this wonderful thing, and, we made a couple of new friendships on the trip. I got to know that new guy, Mark, a little bit better. And we climb in the back of the truck And the scariest part of that entire trip was when we pulled into the gas station and the commander gets out and he fills the tank with gas. And he also fills two different gas cans. And he opens up the back of the truck, opens the tarp with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, falling off the edge of his mouth, and he sticks the two gas cans in the truck. We about crapped ourselves. We thought we were going to blow up for sure. Well, as it said, we made it home without any major event, but I still cannot imagine why our parents let us go off in the midst of that storm and have the greatest adventure of our life.